Can I show you? I uploaded the one screen in just 2 minutes. Just open the I will 1 minute.
Yes, sir. Time. Sure.
I'm so. We are also go forward. Yes, yes. I guess yes, we give them a break. Yes.
Hello.
Hello, testing.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Hello. Hello, Assalamu alaikum and good morning. This is Dr. Shkila, Professor, Department of Statistics, Foreman Christian College, University. I would like to introduce our honorable speaker, Dr. Bassam Al-Hamad. a leading expert in accreditation and QA, having evaluated over 100 programs and trained 10,000 professionals. He is a member of INCAHI and AFID and has consulted for multiple international bodies. Please welcome him. Please, sir.
Thank you very much. So, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay, mine is different voice, right? So welcome everyone. Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. And today we will have a very inshallah fruitful session within about 3 hours. Our session is going to be today about the ADRI approach. And the ADRI approach, I'm pretty sure few of you will know, or many of you already know about it. And we are going to make it a workshop as much as we can, which means that we will take many different exercises. The approach is not difficult. Sorry, the model is not difficult. The ADRI approach, which is approach, deployment, improvement, the results and the improvement, it's not a difficult model, but sometimes it becomes more difficult if you don't really use it in a daily wise. It's like I remember I went for skiing this January. It was my first skiing in my life. Skiing on the ice. You know, Bahrain is a very hot country, very similar to Lahore, yani. So we never saw ice in our life, yani. So skiing on snow was a very a difficult experience. But my son, he's a bit old, 20 years old or 21. So he pushed me to do it. And doing it for first time is difficult. And second time and third time. So you will fall many times. And this is what happened to me. So what I'm trying to say, the ADRI model, you will fall many times into many mistakes while you are applying. But at the end of the day, inshallah, you will have the good experience of how to use that ADRI model. So they have this. So we have people online as well. Okay, great. And no one online. Everyone is here, right?
Right now.
Okay. Because I have the camera there and so. So I'm just. So it's just live streaming. Okay. Just to make sure it's on. I think it's not on.
It's on. Yeah, it's on. This is Parveen.
Yes, I know. That's fine. Just to make sure that it's working.
Yeah.
Check it if it's working. If it's not working, I can use the arrow. It's okay. Okay, till the mouse is getting ready. So I'll try to get you ready on board. So the ADRI approach, just to get an idea, you'll wait, so that's fine. It's okay, I can sit there, yani. I can every time go there, yani. I will not bother you all the time, click and click. No, I'll save you, it's okay. Yeah, I'll come closer here, which is fine. Okay, just to get an idea, how many of you know about the ADRI model before I go to the next slide? Okay, so I thought few of you would be knowing about it. So you don't have an idea about what is ADRI model and how is it used. Okay, do you know the PDCA cycle? Okay, so you know the PDCA cycle, the Deming cycle. Do you know radar? Which is something to do with the excellence model. What else? What do they have? There's something, one more, what I forgot. But all of them mean the same thing. What does it mean? It means that you're planning something before you do it. You have a plan, a very clear plan before you do the thing, and then you do it. After doing it, you want to check if you are getting the results that you want. And after getting the results, you want to see, are the results satisfactory or not? So I want to lose 5 kg every month. How are you? Nothing. So I want to lose 5 kg this month. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a plan. Losing weight without a plan doesn't work. So I'm going to put a plan. My plan is not to eat paratha, for example. Then it's very oily. And my plan is to have less rice. So I'm putting a plan. So this is my plan. After I put a plan, then I'm going to apply. I'm going to check. I'm going to do my plan, implement it. Implementing the plan, it works, it doesn't work, I don't know. We need to see the results. The result says that I didn't lose any kilos. That means I have a problem with my plan, or I could have a problem in my implementation, right? Because sometimes you have a good plan, but you don't really apply it, you don't really implement it. So the results will tell you if you're really doing well or not. And the next step is to improve. So where to improve? Maybe you want to improve the plan stage or the approach. I'll go back to my letters here. So we go to the A, which is the approach, or it could be the problem in the deployment, or deployment which means implementation. In this case, this is the word A, approach, and then D, deployment, are the results, and then the improvement. So it could be in any one, mainly in the first two, we are going to have a problem that we need to improve. Now, why are we using the ADRI approach? The ADRI approach is used mainly for two reasons, either as a reviewer or as a reviewee. So for me as a reviewer, when I'm going to review another institution, if I have this ADRI approach, it will make your life very easy. At least you have the quality mentality of how to review, or you're going to be reviewed. So you know the person who's asking questions, and you know that how he's thinking. He will always, or she will always be asking about 4 different elements, either the approach or the deployment, and so on, the results and the improvement. And let's see how we are going to get into this. I'll try to make it more workshop. I just need to get the concepts somehow understood by all of us. And then we go to the next stage where we're going to have more exercises and practices. So in this case, we are going to be having some outcomes today. So the first goal is to understand the ADRI model, to understand what does that mean. And then we are going to apply it together in practice. And then we are going to structure. I don't think so we are going to do number 3, but then at least we have the idea of when you write the self-study reports. Do you write self-study reports for the institutional program evaluation and so on, the quality enhancement cells? Okay, good. So those who go into the self-evaluation reports or self-study reports, whatever it's called. So these reports are also, they also have a basis. The reviewer wants to see the ADRI approach while you're applying. So we are going to take some exercises again on the standards. So we are going to take standard number 1 in the IPE, Institution Performance Evaluation, and then we are going to apply the ADRI approach. Then we're going to take standard number 2 and apply the ADRI approach. Of course, we cannot cover all the standards today, but at least we have an idea of how to apply it. And just to get an idea, an ADRI approach, and I will take a very generic idea just to warm up. I want to have an advising system for the university. I want to have an advising system process for the university that works well. Any idea about what could be our approach? What would be our plan? What will be our strategies? What will be our policies? All this means approach, by the way. Huh? What is our approach to have a good advising system? Any idea? Just tell me what are the policies around advising at your university? Just to give you an idea what is approach. Okay, do you have, yes? So you have
advisory services.
So you have student advisory services. Now, the student advisory services is you wrote those, or you're having services for the students. Those services for the students, is there a policy that explains those services? Yes, which is, I would say, for example, advising policy. Okay. Now, what is the difference between, if you just noted that I made a differentiation between student services and the advising policy, the advising services that you're providing to the students. I'll clarify that. So I'm an advisor. So when you ask me about the students at the advising process, I'll say, yes, I do advising. I have 5 students that I advise every semester, for example. Now, what I'm doing, I'm implementing the advising process. But why do I have number of advisees that I need to advise every semester? Because there's a policy which says that I need to advise, I must advise. So going back, you need to apply the ADRI approach. At the university, as a reviewer, when I come at the university, I need to see the advising policy, and I need to see the implementation of the advising policy, which is in this case is the implementation of advising, someone who's doing the advising. Okay, something else, again, I'll go back to the advising. But by the way, this is an activity. So I'm just trying to get what ADRI means. So this is what I'm trying to do here. Again, I'm going to go to the advising policy. What are other approaches other than policy that you need to have for the to implement the advising policy or to implement advising at university?
Organization structure,
Organization structure.
the office which is specialized in that.
Good. So we have a structure that serves the purpose. So this is another approach. If you're having, if you don't have a system, if you don't have a structure that serves the purpose, you're going to have a problem. For example, I'm at the university again, but I don't have any structure for advising, which means there's no, for example, we have at our university someone called the senior advisor. He takes a senior advisor role and he tells the advisors, or no, sorry, he's called the chief advisor. And he tells the other advisors, the other professors, he's telling them how to advise the others. And he gives them some kind of a cheat sheet. So he gives a sheet to every advisor. This is the way how we advise them. And these are the items that you're going to be advising. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm planning the process. I'm planning through a policy and I'm planning through a structure. And I also can plan, number 3, I would say it from my side, through a procedure. Procedure, that means very clear procedure for advising. So this is an idea of about the ADRI approach, the A, the letter A approach. So the approach means planning. The approach means that you're having a policy. Sorry.
Suppose we have a resilient condition of the institute. Sometimes if I'm a reviewer and I'm in reviewer, so I'll see and check the approach of that institute as he working.
Yes. Yes.
Whatever he has written on his resilient condition.
Yes, exactly. And we are going to take an example later. We are going to take an example about standard number 1, because your standard number 1 is about mission. Well, let's go on. I like to take examples and exercises as much as I can. My voice is different from here till there. Okay, I can feel the difference. Maybe because I'm here. For you, same, right? When I go there here, the sound is the same. That means it's only me that I'm feeling the difference. Okay, so another example for the mission. Let me talk about the mission. All of your university have a mission, right? Okay, let's apply the word, the letter approach before going to the deployment. About the mission, what is the approach at your university in the case of having a mission? Any idea? Again, use the letters, use the word that I used to have. You need to have a plan, you need to have a structure, you need to have policies, you need to have procedures.
We have the parts.
Yep. But let me use the other. Do you have a policy for the mission?
Yes, whatever we have written our mission, are we ready to follow on these questions?
No, are we ready to follow? That is the implementation. I'm talking about the mission. Do you have an approach? I'll change the word approach. Do you have a policy to have a mission or not? Okay, yes. Do you have a policy that the mission should be reviewed every 4 to 5 years? Okay, you see that I'm always putting, I'm not saying that are you reviewing every 2, 4, or 5 years. I'm saying that there is a policy that tells you that you need to review 4 to 5 years. Do you have a policy that says how to review the mission? I'll make it clearer. I need to see the results. I need to see the stakeholders' opinions. I need to see the strategy, the strategic objectives and goals, and see if I achieve them or not. I'm not seeing the results yet. I'm looking at the policy. The policy says that you must see the stakeholders to review the mission. The policy says you must have results to review your mission. The policy says that after looking at the results, you must have an action plan if you don't achieve your mission. All that is explained in what? In the approach. Okay, so what I'm trying to say that everything is systematic, written, very clearly approved at the level of the board or the university council, saying that these are your policies, these are your strategies. And everything later, the implementation, the deployment, and the results should obey that policy. I hope the approach becomes a little bit clearer in that sense. So going to the definitions. So first we have the approach. The approach is what is the methodology to get to your objectives. So what is the methodology to get your objectives? I want to lose, again, 5 kg, 5 kilos per month. So if I have that goal, I think 5 kilos is too much for a month, right? 2.5 is good, right? 0.5, huh? Well, even 2.5, I think so. My deployment is not good. Because I always have like the goal for 1 month. Sometimes it's good, but at the end of the year, my weight is still the same. I don't know what happens in the other months. So it goes up and down, yani. Okay, so I think so. Maybe they have the same story. So again, I want to lose some kilos. What is my approach or what is my methodology to get to those objectives? So you're going to put some kind of methodologies. And let me see what is the methodology. I said that I'm not going to eat paratha, and because it's very oily, and I said that I will not eat rice. Okay, so these are the two things that I'm not going to do to lose the 2.5 kg per month. Now, before going to the implementation, do you think there are other approaches, other methodologies that will also help me? Before going to the implementation, I did not start yet. I'm writing my goal. This is my goal. What is my methodology? Not to eat paratha, not to eat rice. Okay, so these are very clear goals, and I put them in my objectives. What are the approaches other than not eating paratha, not eating rice? I don't. What else comes to your mind as other approaches?
Join a business.
Okay.
Walking.
Exercise. Good. Very good. Do you need to write any policy for that? For yourself? I don't mean that, but maybe you want to put some policies at home. I'm just giving you the idea of approach. If your approach is really strong, it will help you in this model. It helps you for university, for your life, for whatever. Okay. What kind of a policy comes into your mind? At home.
Visit fitness club at least 3 times a week.
Okay, great. So he's putting some kinds of rules that he's going to set at home. These are my policies to visit the gym or the fitness club 3 times per week. And he signs also. He needs to sign there. And his wife is watching.
Fatty items.
Do not eat fatty items. So there is another policy there. Okay, so not to eat fatty items. Yes.
With strict policy, I would like to say eat oily products at least once in a month.
Okay. So yeah, so it depends on, but at the end of the day, you got the idea that you're writing those policies. Okay, you're writing. Maybe you also want to say that you will not eat outside home from other restaurants. I think it makes a difference, right? For us, it makes a difference. I don't know, do you have talabat that also delivers the food to home? You have something like that? It's very, because it's everywhere now, with different names. It doesn't need to be talabat, but the same idea. So this is another problem. That means you're going to put a policy there.
Diet plan.
Sorry? Diet plan. Sugar intake and so on. So now what I'm trying to say, we are writing all the details of the policy, and those details of the policy are going to help me to work well on this approach. Now, if you go back, now I know, at least for me, I know, that why I don't lose weight. Because maybe I didn't write my policies very clearly and set and written in front of me. But when you have it written, when you approve it, that means as a family, as a council, family council, you're the university council, and you decide together that this is what we are going to do. Okay, and so on. So this is the kind of approach. What are your methodologies? Number two is the deployment. How is the approach implemented? So how we are going to implement it is simply you're putting the procedures for the implementation. So you're going to write very clearly how you're going to implement it, and you're going to implement. Now, you're going to implement it the first day, the second day, the third day. While you're implementing, you're going to get the results. And the results are going to tell you that you're doing well or not well. Your advising is going well or not. You're losing weight well or not, and so on. If you are really achieving your mission for the standard number one or not. And these are the results. And now when talking about the results, we have results that are related to the objectives, mainly the objectives, because the results can take several levels. What do I mean by several levels? I'll try to keep it simple. I'll not go very detailed into that, because that isn't the radar approach. If you go to the radar approach of the excellence model, either Malcolm Baldrige or the European excellence model. The results, they have different definitions, but at least what I would say that there are results within few months, and there are results at the end of the year, and there are the results at the end of 2 to 3 years. To make it very simple, I call it results and impact. So I'm not going to the date. Read results and impact. So results, that means you're losing 1 kilo or you're losing 5 kilos. The impact, you're healthy. So that is the real impact of the real impact that comes after 2 to 3 years. We call it al-athar. النتائج al-athar, that is in Arabic. Okay, so al-nata'ij, the results, and the athar that comes after a long time, which is the impact. In this case, I want to see the results, which could be the results. KPIs, for example, are results as well, key performance indicators, and most of you have KPIs. And I'm sure that you have KPIs at the implementation level, and you have KPIs that are strategic level. Okay, which means strategic KPIs. Implementation level, for example, for advising. I'll go back to the example of advising. Implementation level, every faculty member is advising 3 out of 5 people every semester. Let me make the numbers higher, because just to make, so every professor has 50 students. So the results say that on average, the faculty member is providing advising according to the policy to 30 out of 50 students. So that is some kind 60%. So my achievement is 60%. Now, what is the impact? The impact, you need to see the quality of advising. If advising is really providing its ultimate goal of why we are doing advising. So there is a difference between results and objectives. The objectives becomes the results at the higher level, at a strategic level. We are talking about the impact. Then we have the improvement. So if I don't achieve my results, I want to improve. If I don't achieve my results, I want to improve. If I don't lose my kilos, I need to put an action plan. I need to improve my policy maybe. My policy was not good. Or it could be my deployment was not good. My implementation was not good. That I'm still eating whatever oily food. Or it could be I was not taking the results more frequently. Okay, so I'm having results, but my results did not reflect very clearly the details so that I can achieve my goal. And then, of course, these are my improvement actions. So simply approach, what are your objectives? What are your methodologies? Deployment, how are they being implemented? And results, what are the outcomes? Improvement, what improvements do I need to do and make? Okay, so these are the details. By the way, the presentations, I'm not sure, is this going to be distributed to everyone?
Yes.
It's already, okay, that's good. But this is what they told us, just to make sure that it will be sent to all of you. Okay, now I already explained what is approach, but we need to see what some details about approach. So I told you policies, procedures, strategies. So this is what I'm writing here. So you can see the words. What is the school or the university trying to achieve, and how does this align with the strategic directions? So usually approach, it gives you the strategic level or the policy level. How were planned objectives developed? Who are involved? How well it is disseminated? Oh, let me go back. And so on. Let me make this clear. Going back to the mission example. You have written in the approach, that the university needs to have a mission. All of you have a mission. It's written in the policy, the university needs to review its mission every 5 years. All of you review every 5 years. But maybe the university forgot to say who are involved. So the university maybe forgot in the policy to say that those who are involved in reviewing the mission are stakeholders, and they define the stakeholders. I'm telling you this, why? Because I went to many universities, they have a mission, they say it should review every 4 to 5 years, but they did not write who's going to review the mission. Actually, there was one problem in many universities as well, not only one university. They don't know who will initiate the process of reviewing the mission. And who's responsible? Is it the president say that now it is time to review the mission? Or is it the board of trustees, some member there, he says, now it's time to review the mission? Or it is the quality people, quality enhancement cells? They're the ones say that now it's time to review the mission. Who will say that? And what happens is that for 5 years, the year 5 finishes, and we did not review the mission. Actually, it's written in the policy that we need to review it, but we forgot to say who are involved.
You will decide.
Yes. The reviewer, he will come and at the end of the, yes, and then you start running. Why? Because the reviewer is coming on the way and he's going to review us, and we are starting now running just to review the mission as fast as we can. I don't want that to happen. I don't want it to be relying on external bodies. I wanted something to be internal. Internal, that means we have our own policies, we improve ourselves. We don't wait to others to push us to do it. So again, who are involved? Now, number 4, this is number 4, how well it is disseminated. And this is another problem that universities face. You have policies, but no one knows about it. You have policies, but no one read it. So I'll give an example, something else in Bahrain. We have policies all in Arabic, and maybe 30% of our faculty members, they don't know Arabic. So this is a problem. So I could have an advising policy, very well written, and it says what you should do to advise your students, very clear procedure how to advise the student, but only the Arabic speakers can understand what is written. And the non-Arabic speakers, they cannot understand what is written. So that is a problem. So going to how it is disseminated, or I would say that how is it communicated, so that all and everyone within university knows about it. So again, when I say the word approach, I do reflect many items within the approach. My approach should be complete. Think of the approach as a policy. So it should be a policy at the university level, or at least a plan of how I'm going to reach my goal. I want to have advising. I need to have a plan for advising. I need to have a mission. I need to have a plan for the mission. But again, as I said, there are details that we need to have about the approach. Regarding the deployment, so the deployment is the implementation part. Deployment, that means I'm going to implement. I said that I'm going to have advising. I'm implementing my advising policy. I said I'm going to have a mission. Now I have a mission. I will review it every 5 years. I'm implementing and reviewing every 5 years. I said that I need to include all stakeholders. By the end of the 5th year or 4th year, I included all stakeholders. I said I want to lose some kilos. Now I'm implementing. I'm not eating rice. I'm not eating oily fluids. I went to the gym and so on. So I started implementing everything. So this is the deployment part. So it says that how are the policies implemented, or how is the approach implemented in practice? Okay, so this is how simple is it. And by the way, even all of us, and I think of you as parents, we have kids at home. Do we have policies for our kids or not? Definitely yes. Now let's talk about eating habits. Do you have policy for eating habits for your kids at home? Yes. Let's talk about sleeping, when to sleep and when to wake up and so on. So do you have also policies for that? The answer is yes. So there are policies. Now imagine a parent is trying to raise his kids without any policies. One of your kids starts saying bad words, swearing. It's not allowed. And he knows that it's not allowed very clearly. And so this is a policy that you set at home. All of us have not written the policy, but we agree that this is the policy. And the kid knows that my mom does not allow us to stay after 9 o'clock. I don't know 9 is okay or not. Okay, but it's very clear. And my mom doesn't allow us. She only allows us when we get in the age of 14 or 15 or 16. I don't know. There are policies in our home, which are a little different, because it's very, when they get 16 years old, now they have more freedom. It's not more freedom, the policy changes depending on the age. It's like he's graduating from one part and he's going to another part of his life. So going again to the policies, what I'm trying to say that you also have policies and you're implementing it at home. If you don't have policies written, that is going to be a problem. Policies are simply what? An agreement between the university council and all the faculty members, between you as a parent and all of your kids. So there's an agreement there. Yes, at the university it is written, maybe at home it's not written, but it is well known. And then the deployment is the implementation of those policies. How are they implementing? There are some kids who are implementing things at home, and there are some other kids who are not implementing the policies. And this is where you see the results and you try to improve. Going to the deployment, how does the structure help or hinder implementation? Now, why implementing? Sometimes there's a problem with the structure. Again, I go back to the approach. So the approach, we said that we need to have policies and we also need to have a structure and procedures. Sometimes the structure doesn't serve me. Do you have any idea, an example about structure that comes to your mind? You want to implement something, you have a policy, you want to implement something, but the organization structure does not really help you. Any idea and any example you have in your mind? Sorry? Managers do not coordinate. It doesn't mean the structure problem. Structure problem, I'm thinking of something else. Sorry.
For example, we want to have employee alumni engagement in our university, but we don't have any dedicated alumni office. It is just additional tasks which has been assigned to the
Very clear.
professor. But their prime job is to teach and conduct the research, and that particular aspect of managing the alumni it gets compromised.
Good.
So we don't have a specific dedicated.
Very good example. Very good example. Do you have another example?
The structure in addition, if it is centralized structure or decentralized, if the top management allow the good level management or employees to make decisions,
Good.
so they will make decisions on time.
Very good example as well.
And it should be implemented on time. You will get the right.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Thank you for the two examples.
Suppose our institute is, we don't have software for surveys. So this is a problem that we must use.
Yeah, software service is a good example, but not for the structure. Structures mainly, you're talking about part of the organization chart. And I will take your example about the alumni. For example, my goal is to have a good relationship with alumni, is to involve alumni, is to have the engagement of stakeholders. Here I'm talking about alumni. So we're talking about stakeholders engagement, specifically alumni engagement. So this is my goal. And then I write a policy, which is the approach. Okay. For those who just came, we are going through the ADRI approach, approach, deployment, results and improvements. So I'm still in letter A. I just finished A. I'm getting to letter D. So the approach for alumni engagement is that I'm going to write a policy. We need to communicate with alumni once every year. And then I'm going to say how to communicate with the alumni once every year. Okay. And then you're going to write, I need to run an alumni survey every 2 years, for example, or every year. So you have written that you need to conduct alumni survey. Now, what happens in many universities, they say, who will conduct the alumni survey? And this is part of their saying that, you remember when I said in the approach, I need to say who was involved, who are going to be involved. Now, who is going to be involved? If you have written that the alumni office needs to be involved, do you have an alumni office? So the structure needs to serve the policy. Maybe I don't have a structure for that. Maybe I don't have an alumni office to do that. And I have seen in many different universities, those who run or conduct the alumni surveys are the faculty members themselves. And they are already overwhelmed with many different things, teaching, research, and many other stuff. And then you're asking him to do even more job to do the alumni survey, which is not his committee job. It's even something more than his committees that he's a member of. So going back, saying that the structure needs to be considered. How does the structure help the implementation? So if you want to have an implementation, you need to have a structure for that. You cannot ask for something if you do not provide the requirements of that thing. You're asking for something to be implemented, but it doesn't work. For example, I don't have an example now in my head. I'm searching for an example with parents because I like to give examples with parents, Yani, but I didn't get something in my mind yet. Asking your kid to do something, but you did not give them the tools, or you did not empower them to do that thing. Do you have anything in mind pop into your head? Nothing yet? Nothing in my head yet as well. But what I'm trying to say is that the structure needs to help you in your implementation. So this is the idea. If you need to have a good engagement of alumni, you need the structure to achieve that. Without an alumni office, for example, I'm not saying that you must have an alumni office. I'm just saying that you need to have the structure. In my case, maybe I must have an alumni office as part of my organization structure to achieve the engagement of alumni. Who's responsible, which means I need to in my implementation stage, I need to say who is responsible and who will do the job. Is it the faculty member, or is there a specific office to do that? And if they are empowered or skilled, because this is another problem, that in the implementation stage, you discover that they don't know how to do it. Okay, in the implementation stage, they don't have the software to do it. What you just mentioned, talking about conducting surveys, or maybe I don't have the survey questions, which is something even before the software. So I don't have the survey. And so I start calling someone else or some other college or some other university. Do you have a survey for alumni engagement? So we go back. We need to say who is responsible, and if they are empowered and skilled. Empowered, that means empowered with all the tools that they need to implement that approach or that alumni engagement. Now you see that I'm just giving you many different examples. My approach, I changed my approach. I gave you an example of advising. I gave you an example for losing kilos, an example for alumni engagement, and so on. The reasons that I'm giving you the different examples just to tell you that how your policies change depending on the example. If I want to raise my kids, I have different policies. If I want to have a mission, I have different policies. If I want to have advising at universities, I have different policies, and so on. But it's not only policies, it's approach, which is the policies part, and then the deployment, the implementation part. Do not forget in the implementation is to look at the structure, is to look at who's responsible, if they are empowered, and they have opportunities for flexibility and innovation. Because even while they are implementing, you need to give them some kind of flexibility. If you don't give flexibility, you don't really improve very fast. If you don't give that flexibility, if you give the flexibility, you put policies for your kids, but it is flexible to some extent. You know the flexibility that you provide for the students. You allow them to use the computer, the internet, certain age. You allow them to use the mobile phones, but that is part of the flexibility to some extent. Number of hours, you allow them to play with the PlayStation, I don't know, whatever video games, to some extent, to number of hours. And this is part of your policy, still part of your policy. So you're allowing that for that flexibility because maybe it helps. It helps in raising your kids or for the faculty members. And of course, for the deployment, I need to look at the processes in details. When I say deployment, I have a mission, I need to review the mission. The details of reviewing the mission should be written. The details, who's going to review it, when it's going to be reviewed, who will initiate the process of reviewing, how are the results of the stakeholders collected, who will contact the stakeholders, and so on. You can see how long are these just details of talking about the deployment details. Now going to the results part. The results is the third letter. So I have the ADRI approach, I have policy, I'm implementing it, the deployment. Now I'm looking at my implementation results. Do I have good results? Did I lose number of kilos as I planned or not? Am I having a good kid as I planned? Because I said that I'm going to raise a kid who's hafiz Quran, and I come by the end of age 14, for example, and he's still not hafiz, for example. So these are results. I'm putting a goal and then I'm looking at the results if I'm achieving it. Now, what are the results? I need to look at what is the performance outcomes. I'm going to put some outcomes. One of the examples of outcomes is KPIs. And how is it going to be evidenced? What are the targets? Are the targets benchmarked? Are trends attributable to specific strategies? Okay, now looking at the results, I don't know if this is clear, if it will be clear here or not, but I'll try my best for those who are sitting at the back. So I have a pen, green is not good. I have another pen. I have pens from my teaching yesterday. You also have pen. You see, I have here. Wait. So what I'm going to show you as part of the results, and hopefully it's a bit clear for you. So I have results, KPIs, for example, and let me say that let's talk about results. Let's talk about number of published articles. Okay, so you're talking about number of published articles, which is very something all of you is touchable. Do you want to talk about number of published articles for one faculty member or for the whole university? So for the department, okay, for the department. So I'm doing this on purpose because it makes a lot of difference of how I want to approach this. I'm using the word approach again. So talking about the department, so my department here, I have a number of publications. And this is year 1, year 2, year 3. Now, the first thing, if you have recognized, I could have number of publications published, saying that number of publications, I have, for example, 2 publications per faculty member. In total, I have 50 publications. Now, when I say 50 publication for a department, I cannot say that it is good. I cannot say that it is bad. Why do you think so? Why cannot I decide? It depends on the faculty members. Maybe I have 50 faculty members, everyone published one. Maybe I have 100 faculty members, half of them are publishing and the other half are not publishing. Okay, so here the results are not always true when they appear. And those who work in media, they know how to play with results. Because the same results, you can show yourself great. And with the same results, you can show yourself that you're really doing bad. Exactly with the same results, not changing any fact. So going back, the results need to be reflective. Okay, need to be reflective. Number 2, I need to see the publications with time, which I call the trend. Maybe I'm having 50 publications here. But if I would look at last year, maybe last year I was here. The year before I was there, maybe the year before I was there, which means the trend is going down. So again, when I look at the results, if I don't look at the trend, I could have a problem. Now, let's take another part. Maybe it could be that I'm going up there, which is good. Let's assume that my number of publications is increasing every year, which is really good. But if I benchmark or compare myself to another university, maybe other universities are always up there. Or Pakistani universities are there and I'm sitting down there. So when you compare yourself, you find yourself you're doing less than others. So again, the results by itself, yes, we said results to see if you are implementing things correctly or not, but also considering your results, what are your targets and what is your benchmark? What is your benchmark? You're comparing to whom? Because it depends on whom you compare to. If you compare to higher universities, you will always push yourself to go even higher. But if you're comparing yourself with other universities which are lower than you, you will always feel yourself comfortable. And this is what happens to countries usually. When a country becomes very well developed, it's advanced. When they see themselves better than others, they forget to improve because they feel themselves they reached their maximum. And then they wake up and find the Asian countries they already reached to them. And this is what is happening in politics today. All the Asian countries, they're up there and with the advanced countries. Okay, so you have the pens there. Okay, thank you. So to consider comparing yourself. And then I said about the trends. I need to look at the trend and how it is trending. Is it trending going positive or negative? Of course, I mean, it depends on what you're targeting. If you're targeting number of kilos, I want it to go down. يعني طبعا. It's not, I don't want it to go up. Of course, number of publications should go up, definitely. Okay, so going to the fourth part, which is the improvement. So we're looking at the improvement, how is going to be reviewed, how are processes and outcomes reviewed. I want to improve. Based on what? Based on the results, based on the R. So based on the results, I want to improve. I have less publications. I'll ask myself why. And then I'm going to put an action plan, an improvement plan. So this is what I want to do. I want to improve myself. So I need to review the outcomes. How are my processes and outcomes reviewed? Sometimes the problem is not, I cannot know how to improve if I only look at the results. I also need to look at the implementation. Again, the example of number of kilos. I see that I'm not losing any kilo by the end of the month. Why? I need to go to see the implementation. Maybe there's a problem with the implementation. Maybe I'm still eating oily food. Maybe I'm not eating oily food, but I'm not going to the gym. According to the policy that I have written, the policy says, do not eat paratha, do not eat rice, go to the gym. 3 simple things in the policy. But I'm implementing one, but I'm not implementing 2 others. So going back, this is all of these should be reviewed to improve. I need to review the deployment, the processes, and the policies. And I also need to review the results, the outcomes. So I need to review all of that to improve. And what is done with the findings? I need to see the findings, analyze them. All this should be written. To what extent has learning occurred? The word learning occurred means I'm learning from what I'm doing. Sometimes we do not learn from our mistakes. What we are saying that the university needs to learn from its mistakes. At an individual level, we do learn from our mistakes. But at an organization level, it's not always they learn from their mistakes because it's a big organization. And I think so many of you here, they know about organization behavior. It's not about the person, the individual behavior, it's the whole organization behavior. So this organization behavior, there's like a culture for that organization, how to behave. And here I'm talking about, does the organization learn from its mistakes or not? Okay, so I'm having a cycle, which is very similar to the PDCA cycle. The plan somehow reflects those who know PDCA. I'm just trying to make it simpler. The plan is the approach part. The do, which is the PDA, plan, do, check, act. The do is the deployment part. In this case, we have approach, deployment. For the PDCA, it says plan, do, check, act. It doesn't have the results part. And because the Deming cycle did not have results part, there are 2 different methodologies came into being. One of them is ADRI approach, where it mentions results very clearly, and the radar approach, RADAR approach in the excellence model. There they also mention the word results very clearly, because it's important to involve it. Okay, so simply ADRI makes me have a system. Without ADRI approach, I will not have a system. But let me go back. I said that why do you need ADRI approach? I need to have ADRI approach to have a full system. I need ADRI approach to be a reviewer. If I want to be a reviewer in future, I need to have an ADRI approach. You also need to have ADRI approach if you're going to be reviewed by someone else. Because that reviewer, he's going to have that mentality. The reviewer is going to come with that idea. He's going to ask about your policies. So you're going to tell the reviewer, I review my mission every 4 years. He could ask you, show me the evidence. Which are the results? Show me the evidence that you're reviewing it every 4 years. Or maybe he will ask you about the policies, which is the approach. He's going to say that, I know that you're reviewing it for every 4 years. I can see that you review it. I can see the stakeholders input. But do you have a policy for it or not? So this is something else. The policy needs to be written. As a reviewer, I need to see the approach, the implementation, the results of that implementation, and the improvement action to close the improvement cycle. So he needs or she needs to see all that together. Okay, Tani. Yeah, I already explained that. So let me go and identify. So I'm just trying to wrap up the concept, and then we can take exercises. And because the exercises discussing with each other, I have only 7 or 8 people engaged, but I don't know about the rest. So we need to do an exercise so that I make sure that everyone is engaged. So looking at it again, so what is approach? Strategies, structures, and processes have been established. So approach means policies, it means strategies, it means structure. Approach also means processes, procedures in place. So this is the approach. So I have all the policies, procedures, strategies are written. And I have also put the performance indicators, which are part of my strategies of how I'm going to measure or how I'm going to have the results. Yes, please.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
The organization culture, would it be the part of the approach or the deployment aspect of ADRI model? Because to make any strategy successful, we don't only need the structures in place, we also need the right organization culture. Would it come under the topic of the approach? Or how we are going to executing it through the deployment?
A good question. I will put it in that sense that do I have an objective and a goal for the organization behavior or not? If I have a goal for the organization behavior, I'm going to write a policy and approach of how to manage that organization behavior. If I don't have any goal for the organization behavior, that means I don't have a policy for it. Now, you'll not have a reviewer asking you about organization behavior because it's not one of the standards. Okay, so it will not be part of your approach. But if you have it as a goal, then it will be one of your goals, one of your approaches that you need to write policy for it, and you need to implement it and so on. Of course, deployment, that means you're implementing those strategies, plans. So you're going to look at, are their strategies, plans, approaches executed? Are they implemented or not? Because you don't want them only on paper. You want them to be executed. To what degree they have been implemented? So that's deployment. And the results, what accomplishments have I made? Okay, all of us have an advising policy, but is it effective or not? So we always ask ourselves, all of us teach as well, and we have learning outcomes very clearly. Is it effective or not? All of us assess our students and evaluate them. Is it effective or not to measure the real outcome? All of us conduct surveys, alumni surveys, student surveys. For the course, we have a student survey where they implement the course. They evaluate the course. Are those student course evaluation surveys effective or not? So this is all in the results part, because I can write a very good strategy for student course evaluation survey, and I implement the student course evaluation survey, but maybe the results are not as good. And again, the results are 2 levels, we said, right? Yani I'm talking about, is it efficient? For example, I said that I want to implement the student course evaluation survey. And then I see that I implemented student course evaluation survey for all courses, which means I'm 100% efficient. The question is that not about efficiency. Am I effective? Does it really tell me if I'm doing well in teaching or not? Because you have this student course evaluation survey for a purpose. The purpose is to improve teaching. The purpose is to improve assessment. The purpose is to improve the faculty member in his methodologies of teaching and assessment. Is it really effective or not? So all that is reflected where? In the results. And of course, in the results, I'm going to look at what? I'm going to look at the goals, the targets, the performance indicators, the trends, and so on, comparing with other universities, benchmarking, if I have a benchmark to compare with. And at the end, I'm going to have the improvement. In this case, the improvement, that means I'm going to have the activities or plans observed and assessed. I'm going to have improvement plans. I did not achieve my target of publications. Let me improve it. What are the activities I'm going to do? And I will include it in my next approach. I will include it in my next approach so that I achieve my goal. And every time I do the cycle on and on till I become better and better in my results. And again, you can see that my results are the key part of it. Now, of course, as a reviewer, for those who are working on quality enhancement cells or working as reviewers, they also need to look at this. Why? Because as a reviewer, when he's going to ask about policies and approach, he's going to ask about the teaching approach, the teaching framework, the teaching policy, teaching procedures, assessment policy, and so on. So because he's looking at the policies at the level of the universities, he's looking at handbooks, or she's looking at student handbooks. So this is the level of the approach. Everything is planned. Planned, that means there are policies and procedures. At the implementation stage, if I was a reviewer, I'm going to look at something else. I want to see that he said he's going to do some kind of survey. I want to look at the interviews. He said that he wants to do a surveys. I want to see the surveys. Is it implemented or not? And so on. And many other examples, Annie. Of course, these are the results. The results. Student evaluation of teaching, the example I gave. For example, peer review. I don't know if you have peer review or not. So we have teaching. We have a peer review with our teachers. Oh, sorry, with our colleagues. Okay, so they peer review us and we peer review them and so on. Now we have a policy for that approach. We are implementing it. And after the implementation, I want to see the results. Is it effective or not in improving teaching? And the results here, I already defined what are the targets that I want to achieve and the results for peer reviewing. And of course, if I did not achieve my results, I want to do some kind of improvement. For a reviewer or quality enhancement cells, what they are going to look at, they're going to look at the cycle. This is an improvement. Improvement usually happens at the end of a cycle. When do you review our program? We review it every year or every 4 years. Maybe every year once. It's an annual review, very easy, quick review. But I have a major review every 4 to 5 years. So that is a cycle. There's a cycle of reviewing. We review our courses every semester. Using what? Using the student course evaluation survey. So these kinds of cycles. The reviewer wants to see the cycle, evidence of the review of teaching quality at the end of the cycle. He wants to see the action plans, the improvement plans. He also wants to see the reports of those improvement plans, reports on progress against action plans. I think so the idea now became clearer. Let's take an example. Let's see when is the next example. Instead of going onto the details. If you want to know what I'm skipping here the kind of questions. I'm skipping already what I explained. Yani I'm saying that what is approach? Approach is decrease, strategic plans, bylaws, internal and external procedures, and so on. So I'm just summarizing to what we already have discussed. But I'm just getting myself on place on time. So I need to do some kind of an exercise. Hello. So this is good. So let's start with the first exercise. We'll do it in groups, and then we are going to look at this together. So we'll try to make it in groups, and groups 3, 4 doesn't mind for me. And we'll do it within 5 minutes. 5 minutes, I think so is good enough. What I want to do No, for now, 5 minutes is it's not enough, I think so. We'll do 5 minutes now for approach. After we finish, we'll discuss and then we'll go to deployment. Okay, I will give you a few minutes to write the deployment part and then we will take results and then improvement. So we'll do it one by one. And I have the answers here, Yani. Approach, deployment, but I will not show it to you, Yani. This is the standard written from the manual. This is the IPE manual, your Pakistani manual. So it's written there. Hala, I have written the answer here. I thought I have written the standard only. This is from your IPE manual, but I have written part of the answers. Okay, in the standard one, can you remember what's the standard number one? It's about mission, right? It's about that you need to have a mission. Never mind. Let's finish this. Then I will go to the next example. Okay, I'll go to the next example. Because my next examples, I give you the standard statement, and then we are going to do the exercise together. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. But it seems that standard number one, I just had in mind, I will do it with you, yani, verbally. So the standard one, mission and goals, the standard says, you already know that you need to have a mission that is reviewed regularly, that involves the stakeholders. So this is the kind of a mission that is written in the standard. You as a university need to serve that purpose. Now, how to serve that purpose? In the approach, I need to answer those questions. I'm putting the questions that I need to satisfy. How was the mission developed? What processes align with the national institution priorities? Is that link? Is it planned? Is it well quality assured or not? Now, let me show you the answer just to make it clearer. This is what I'm going to write in my policy. So this is what I'm going to write in my policy to serve the approach, to serve the approach to satisfy standard number one. So it's written there, the university has developed its mission through a consultation process involving faculty, staff, students. So you're writing your self-study report or self-evaluation report, and you're telling the reviewer very clearly that I have a policy. And what is my policy or what is my approach to achieve that? I developed my mission through consultation involving stakeholders, staff, students, board of governors. Mission clearly aligns with the national higher goals. This is mentioned where? In the standard, that you need to align with the national priorities and goals. So it's written there. And then key features, I have a strategic alignment with guidelines. I have document process of mission development. It is approved by the governing bodies. So I'm putting all the details of the policies just to show very clearly to the reviewer as well, but also for myself that I have a very clear approach of how to do it. Okay, let me take an example. I'll go to standard number 2. MashaAllah. Because if I go through all this, we will not finish on time. Okay. Standard 3, I think I skipped standard number 2. Let's go standard number 3. Sure on now. Okay, standard number 3. So this is the statement of the standard. And now we can go through groups. But before going to groups, let's read it. So standard number 3 in the IPE manual says the institution has a governance system that facilitates the fulfillment of its mission and goals and strengthens institutional effectiveness and integrity. The institution creates and maintains an environment which enables teaching, learning, service, and scholarships that helps in developing a research culture. It assures provision of support, advocate for the appropriate functioning of all programs across the organization system. So this is the statement for standard number 3, organization and governance. Now, what I'm asking you to do is to write what is your approach in the university to satisfy that standard. What are your policies in the university that satisfy the standard? Okay, is it clear like that? What are your policies, procedures, structure, manuals, handbooks that you have in place to satisfy that standard? Is it an easy job to do, or can I give you 5 minutes? So work it in groups, and each 4 or 3 or 5. If you can work it out, please discuss with each other the approach. So I'm asking about policies, strategies, manuals, handbooks, procedures, all of these then that you have. Name them. Just name the policies, name the handbooks that you have in university to satisfy that, to see if you have an approach or not. 5 minutes.
Slide पर देख रहा just 55 है ये ठीक है 54 अच्छा इधर गया Meeting with the full कर दी बोर्ड से ना जैसे ही फिर काम आज का शाम को ये बात करना चाहूंगा चेंज करके
Okay, so 5 minutes is already over. So now we will get some feedback from you. And let's see what did you achieve from those, what did you achieve as an approach? Okay, so I want to hear what kind of policies and procedures or whatever that you have achieved. So which group wants to go first to contribute? So, okay, so this is normal, yani no one wants to go first, they want to go second. Yani, you want to go first, which is good. So I'm going to come back to you. He just raised his hand.
Basically, for this standard,
Is that can go on?
yes, I believe.
MashaAllah, it's good.
That everybody can listen.
Yes.
Basically, in this, there will be there will be certain teaching manuals or faculty handbooks defining how the mission of the organization will be achieved. There will be a strategic plan in the organization how they want to go about it for the next 3 to 5 years.
This will rotate for the audience.
Okay.
Thank you.
They will bring one microphone and they will bring another microphone.
Okay. Volume. Can you hear my voice? Can you hear my voice? Hello. Yes. 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 I cannot hear you. You cannot hear me. I cannot hear myself. Okay, still sound, is it okay? I don't know if it's on. Yes, Bismillah, Bismillah, Bismillah. Okay, now the microphone here. Okay. Insane. Okay. You can even when I breathe, you can listen to my breathing. Yeah. Okay, please go ahead.
Yes, we were talking about that there must be some teaching manuals or faculty handbook developed in the organization. Secondly, there will be a strategic plan in for the next 3 to 5 years in an organization, how they want to go about it, developing new degree programs.
Good.
Thirdly,
Organized.
the organizational structure, starting from rector or vice chancellor till down the line.
Good.
Then there will be some student handbooks, their discipline rules, their admission rules and regulations.
Okay, good.
Then there will be some assessment rules, examination rules,
MashaAllah.
and there will be a procedure to conduct self-assessment reports of different degree programs.
Zain, I got really good enough points. I have written some of them. Let's see what else other has. You have given me, mashallah, a good number of points. Please go ahead. Sorry?
Notebook of the university.
Course book of the, yes, that's a very key. Yani, she said a very key document for governance. Without it, the university cannot work. So it's called the court book, you call it? Okay. I totally agree. A charter, act charter, so all of that. You have an act or a charter. Now, as you said, now, because this is governance, you can see that you're talking about the approach at a very high level. When we go into the details of the other standards, it will become more specific. So you first, and then I'll come back to you. Improvement. Recruitment process. Okay, recruitment process. Do you want to change the word process? I would say policy and process, or policy and process. Okay, strategy is something. So I will put the recruitment could be part, but I'm talking about recruitment policy and procedures and processes and so on. And by the way, just to go back again, I think so you went to some universities, they have the recruitment process, they implement it, but while they implement, there are always fight. Why? Because there's no clear process for recruitment. For example, what is the criteria to approve someone to be recruited or not? What are the forms to fill to be approved or not? For example, we want to recruit a professor. Does the assistant professor have a say to recruit the professor in the department or not? Even to that details, if it's not written, you will have a problem in your implementation. Your approach doesn't help. It's okay. So I'm saying that your approach will not help you. You need to fix your policy so that when you implement it correctly. So this is just an example of this recruitment. Okay, what else? This, I will come like this, yeah. Bylaws, policies. Okay, great. So bylaws, statutes, I forgot you, sorry. Please go ahead. Statutes. Yes. Defined roles and responsibilities. I like it. Do you want to put a different word for it? Defined roles and responsibilities for whom? For the governing system. Okay. Do you have terminologies for defined roles and responsibilities? Do you have the word terms of reference? Okay. I'm just putting it in the words, which is correct. It's just a terminology. What you said is absolutely correct. So we need to have terms of reference. And we have job description and terms of reference. What's the difference? It's the same thing. Okay. So maybe in our country we have a different definition for it.
They're also different here. Terms of references are for different procedures and job responsibilities are specifically for employees.
Yes, I was going to say that, Yani. So terms of reference, let me say you have a committee, you have a terms of reference for a committee, but you don't have a job description for a committee. You have a job description for a person, for a certain job title. Okay, now let's imagine that we don't have the approach clearly written. Let me say we don't have a very clear terms of reference for the promotion committee at the department. Okay, because there's always problem with the promotion committee in the department, Yani. Now, because if there's no terms of reference, the terms of reference, that means who is going to be initiating the process if you receive the document for promotion. How many times do they meet per year? How do they evaluate the portfolio of the faculty members for promotion? What are the forms used? So the terms of reference defines exactly what the committee will do and all of the kind of the documentation that you will need in the process. I'm just trying to tell you that our approach is very critical and important for implementation. If you have a problem with the policy, procedures, terms of reference, you will have a problem with the implementation. Your results will not be as good. But if you have a good approach, good implementation, you have very good results. Okay, great. So we shift to that side. We finish with this part, mashallah, here.
Okay, so we have an approach with performance scholarships.
For scholarships, good. But two scholarships?
Student performance.
Through scholarships, which is the part which is written here. I have read here.
This is our approach.
This is your approach for what part?
By improving students' performance.
Yes, what I'm trying to say, you cover this part which was not covered by anyone, which is good.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're covering a part which is written here. The institution creates and maintains an environment which enables teaching and learning service and scholarship that helps in developing research culture. Okay, that's fine. It will happen.
Say that penalize impact of scholarship.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
There is a concept. Which criteria is GPA, whether conduct
Which is the criteria?
Conduct of the students co-curricular activities,
Good.
not only GPA.
Good. I like that. So you have a very clear criteria written. Without the criteria, you will have an implementation that I don't know where it will go, Yani. So now we have a very clear criteria for a proper implementation.
Yeah.
Good. Mumtaz. Okay, I like that.
From 5 we get 25 and we keep a benchmark of 3.2 whereas
MashaAllah.
which will qualify for the scholarship.
Good.
Then students who qualify are achieved 3.2 marks, you will for the scholarship.
What is the last point? Again, if you can say it again.
You 3.2 score, 3.4,
Mhm.
you will award the scholarship.
Hello. Now,
And the next,
this one, the microphone is easier for me. This one is just easier for me. It's disturbing me.
in the next semester, sir, you will see that whether the awarding of these scholarships improves students' performance in the next semester. And there are various criteria which we have done.
Very good. Well,
As compared to the other ones.
I really thank you, and I would try to reflect what our colleagues here are saying. The good thing is that they have kept an approach, not only the policies part, they kept an approach of how to implement, and which is the criteria part, and then they kept an approach of for the results. They will not wait for the results later. They're writing what are the results that they wanted to show later. So the approach covered all the areas. It's like also you're having an approach. Maybe the last approach, I would add that they need to continue this policy and finish it, that they need to measure by the end of the year the achievement and have an annual improvement action to the scholarships and so on. So I'm very happy that you have an approach that is over all the spectrum, all over the spectrum. So you're putting a policy for the whole process. Okay, thank you very much. Great. Any else? Yes.
As far as the first section is concerned, we have come up with the goals related to, for example, but before that, I would like to mention that.
Please.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to mention, as far as the governance system is concerned, that to make it functional, we need to have the existence and the functionality of the statutory bodies which are defined in the charter or the statutes of the university. Because most of the time, not most of the time, when we have found that the TORs are existing, but they are not actually deployed. For example, the frequency of the meetings to be conducted, the participants and who are supposed to be turned up. The second thing is the goals. We have the ranking goals, and for the ranking, we have the ranking policy, the ranking committee, and the recently IQC, the Institutional Quality Circle, has been made a compulsory requirement by the Higher Education Commission of Pakistan that we must have IQC, and one of the mandate of IQC is to actually look after the ranking positions of the university and its various modalities, the budgets. The second goal may be the number of the researcher articles and to be produced, for which we have the research quality policy. We have the best research award policies, and the third one may be the number of enrollments. And to increase the enrollment, and we have the outreach program and outreach policy of the university to tap those students who are actually in the unprivileged areas, and how our university is actually moving towards them to make them unable to appear in the admission test of the university. As far as the integrity of the university is concerned, yes, but I'm going to conclude it in the next 30 seconds. As far as the integrity of the university is concerned, we have the research ethics policy, the research ethics committee, along with this the TORs. And then as far as the efficiency of the university is concerned, we have the program learning outcome assessment committee in the university to look at if we are successfully achieved those program learning outcomes through various measures, for example, the graduating surveys and other than the direct and indirect assessments. The last one is the teaching. We have the teaching load policy. And as far as the research culture is concerned, we have the research capacity building calendar, which is derived from the TNA, the training need assessment. It is backed by the SOP. Thank you. Thank you. It was
As the efforts of everyone. Yes, thank you very much. It's very good. And I would add, kya naam hai? He's asking about your name. He's asking about your name.
I'm Dr. Farooq. I'm from National Defense University of Pakistan.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to add a point that was mentioned by you. Yani, I like all the policies that you have mentioned, but I would like to highlight that he touched on the structure. He's saying that we need committees for that. We need an organization structure, in other words, to implement. The structure goes in the approach part. Because if you go to the implementation, if you don't have the structure that supports you, you could face some problems. So this was reflected very clearly in the policies when you mentioned committees and the organization structure that supports that. Good. I'm very happy with that. Now, do you want us to go with another standard, but to cover the deployment? What's the time now? Kitna time? This is what I know from Urdu, and I'm trying to catch up, Yani. So 10:40. Oh, mashallah. 10:43. Then that means you need a tea break. Okay, so we'll give you. When is the tea break?
11.
At 11, okay. That means we are going to take one more exercise. And now you can see that you're more towards the workshop part. Okay, because it just wakes us up. And if I wasn't sitting in your place, I would also feel like sleeping or something like that. It's normal. By the way, I arrived today at 4 a.m. And so, yeah, but I still have the power somehow, but I'm going to lose it. after. We are going to read standard number 4. And reading the standard number 4, we are going to, let me see standard number 4. Is it easy to take it or take a simpler one? Faculty is better. The faculty is as much touching, and we can write a lot about it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I want also to write something about the approach. However, I also want you to go through the deployment. So consider the deployment in your approach and then the deployment. And deployment is implementation. So it's very difficult to say that we will implement or we will not implement. It's very difficult. But what I'm trying to say is that consider in your approach, in policies, something about the implementation part. So it's not about statutes, it's not about policies only. You're going to talk more about the deployment. You need to have procedures and manuals and handbooks for implementation parts, the deployment part. So you're going to cover the approach and the deployment, okay, within 5 minutes. But let's read it together. Standard number 5, which is the faculty. The institution hires, retains, sustains, and develops a faculty that is suitable. Every word is key, that is suitable. The word suitable also means something to the accomplishment of its mission. Faculty qualification, numbers, and quality-oriented performance is sufficient to achieve the institution mission and objectives. It's very clear in this. The results are given for you. If we were going to write about the results are very clearly reflected in that statement. The faculty offers academic programs with competence and assumes related responsibilities. Good. So this is the statement of the standard. In your standard, if you go to the IPE manual, there are more details, of course, but we are just reading the statement of the standard without the indicators. Now, with the standard, we'll give you 5 minutes again. If you can write the approach, considering also the deployment part, so that you extend now the policies are not only a strategic level, but the policies covers all the spectrum, covers the deployment and the results and the improvement. The approach writes policies for all this process, right? The approach puts the structure for the implementation for the whole spectrum. So what is needed now is within 5 minutes to put what is the approach, what are the policies, procedures, manuals, and the deployment part in this case. So we'll give you 5 minutes.
We know what
Now let's
Okay, I want to catch up just for you to have the break at on time at 11. So just before I start, I just put into ChatGPT asking ChatGPT what please implement or apply the ADRI approach for this standard. So I wrote the standard here, and very clearly this is the approach. Deployment results, what are the results, expected results, and how improvements should be reflected. And we know all about ChatGPT, and we know that it could be useful, it could be tricky sometimes. For me, I use it a lot. I use it a lot, especially for exams, to put exams for students. I upload the PowerPoint and ask the ChatGPT to put the multiple choice questions for me. I like using it for that case, even though sometimes he puts wrong answers. So I need to review after him. Or he puts two answers, the ChatGPT, I say he, sorry. And so the ChatGPT puts two answers within the 4 multiple choice questions. Okay, so let's take feedback. And after the break, inshallah, I got a good suggestion here. After the break, we are going to change, rather than taking the standards, because we have only 1 hour left, rather than taking the standards, we are going to say what the quality enhancements, how will the quality enhancement cell, how the QEC will use ADRI approach inside the university. For example, they go to the library, they want to implement the ADRI approach. So how they will implement that ADRI approach. So we'll do some kind of an exercise. So I'll give you some examples as a quality enhancement cell, how to use that tool. So it will be more useful for you. And then we are going to do some exercises on the library, on the registration office, on so on. Okay, I think so it will be helpful. So we'll go out of the standard part. Okay, it's good enough. We'll cover only 2 standards. That's good enough. So let's get some feedback now about the approach and deployment for this example. And after you come back, we'll implement in a different way. Okay, so who wants to go? We start from this side before that side now. Yani. I have another microphone.
Hello. So the first that we have, like for the faculty hiring, the university from where come Pak Astef actually have a slogan of skilling Pakistan.
It's not killing, skilling.
Skilling, yeah.
Okay.
So for faculty hiring, their first priority to set in mission is to be come after PhD have post PhD industrial experience.
Good.
And second is who have a startup. The faculty member that hired, they have priority if they have startups. And also the second is we have relevant faculty for some specialty like plasma physics, quantum computing, so that will be more prioritized.
Okay.
So where is? Third is that we have PDI, Product Development Initiative. It is a specific university fund for our faculty given to have product commercialized or developed on campus and bring to the market. So it's specifically for all the faculties are open and they could apply for it. And because the goal is for applied research. And fourth is industrial visits, capacity building programs, and invited lecture for each course. And fifth is curriculum review committee to align and fulfill with the mission that what we have achieved. So the committee is also for each task, but I'm going into detail. We have some summary of the overall.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm just looking back at the standard that you are trying to cover which part, yani? So there's sustain and develop. So you have a lot of development for the faculty members, and you're explaining what are the approach that you have, the several policies that you have in this regard.
Sir, I would like to add just one thing as a member of this group. As far as the faculty hiring is concerned, we have a research quality policy, which is also applicable on the hiring side of the faculty. For example, it states about the impact of the research. We have the categorization of the articles like category, W category, X category. So how many X category and W category articles have been published by that particular applicant who is going to be hired? Plus,
Very clear.
what is the position of that applicant in the number of authors list? Because 3 out of 4 authors or 1 out of 3 authors, whatever. And we have a cap of maximum 3 authors in a publication. These are accepted publications applicable for the hiring and promotion in our university. The second thing, as far as the last point is concerned, that is the faculty offers the academic programs with the competence and assume the related responsibilities. We have a curriculum review mechanism in our university, which the outcome of that particular mechanism is the review of those programs which is being offered by the faculty are aligned with the vision of the university, and which new electives may be offered to supplement the required abilities of the students to make them more aligned with the vision and objectives of the university. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I will just highlight one part, and I thank you for everything. But maybe there's one point that is very difficult to satisfy as an approach. The word that is suitable to the accomplishment of the mission. It's very easy to say that I have hiring system or hiring procedure or policies. I have also a very clear policy how to retain our faculty members and all the facilities I provide to faculty members and how to sustain them. I have a very clear professional development plan to develop the faculty member. But are these policies and procedures are suitable to achieve the mission or not? So I may have a higher procedure, but I'm not hiring to achieve the mission. The mission is something related to achieving a quality level of publications, but whom I'm hiring are not to the quality of the level to achieve that accomplishment that has higher quality level of publications and so on. So I just wanted to highlight that this should be connected. These should be connected together. Okay, good. Any other input before we go to the break? Because I think so we are losing time. Okay, we'll take our break. And when we come back, we will work as QECs and we will go like visiting the library and apply the ADRI approach, or visiting the registration of office and apply the ADRI approach. So these are the exercises we'll cover later, inshallah.
And that is arranged in the main cricket ground. We have to go there. Thank you.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So welcome back. So we have about 1 hour to finish. So we'll try to make the maximum out of it. Thanks for the feedback that I got so that we can make something more beneficial to you. So our goal within this 1 hour is to apply the ADRI approach to one of the structure that we have. For example, library. So I'm going to start with the library, and then any other part of your organization structure, any committee you want me to apply the ADRI approach, we'll do it together. Okay, so we want to make it more practical. So I just written here ADRI, which is the ADRI approach. I want to apply that to the library. Is it library a good example?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you are QEC. Huh? You want to apply ADRI to QEC?
Yes.
Oh, Masakin QEC. Really? Hey, you want to apply that to QEC? Okay, let's apply to QEC. Why not, Yani? I thought you were asking about QEC. It wants to use this ADRI approach with other entities. But you're saying that la, yani someone coming to the QEC. All of you are from quality enhancement cells mainly. Okay, so let's do it. Now talking about the quality enhancement cells. I'm going to apply it now to quality enhancement cells, not library. Huh? I forget about the library. Now, before putting the approach, let's go to the objectives. What are the objectives of the quality enhancement cells? So that I can put all of my policies that are connected to the objectives. So what are the objectives? Mention one objective. Sorry?
Meeting accreditation standards.
Accreditation standards. So we want to meet accreditation standards. Okay. I was going to write policies for that. Something else as well. Meeting accreditation standards. Let me write this. So I want accreditation standards. The accreditation standards, meeting accreditation standards, we use a word which is compliance. Okay, so this is the word which is all over. So we need to have compliance. What else do you need to do?
Private existing classes, academic classes very large. Finding the loopholes and then suggesting and analyzing all those processes which can help each other's.
Okay, good. So let me make sure. Now, the quality of teaching and assessment inside the class, or quality of teaching and assessment in the department. Is it the responsibility of the department or the quality enhancement cell? This is a question for you. I'm not sure who's responsible. Both? Are you assessing the teaching and assessment inside the department, or you want to make sure that the department is assessing itself regarding teaching, learning, and assessment? Or both?
Second one.
Second one? Okay, second one, that means the department should do its job. And now you're looking at your objective, which is to assess what? To assess the department if it's doing its checklist very well. Okay, there are two different things. I will tell you why. It will all be reflected in the approach, in the policies. I'll try to make it clear for you. So the second objective is to evaluate, or it's not evaluating, yani, the department. It's you're trying to see the department if it's doing its job correctly. I don't have a space there, so I just put the word evaluate. But you're not evaluating the department. You're trying to say this department, it is satisfying quality standards up to 70%. Another department is satisfying quality standards out to 20%. Yeah, so you are trying to say each department to what level. Okay, but do you have any role in teaching and learning by yourself as quality enhancement cell? Do you assess, or do you assess the progress? I will ask it in another way. We have two objectives. First objective, meeting accreditation standards. Second objective is evaluating the department in terms of they are assessing the learning and the assessment. Do you have a third objective? Or it's enough for our exercise? Institution review? Institution review. Okay, so I'll put these three. I know institutional review coincides with that meeting accreditation standards to some extent. To some extent, they have some differences, and I'm going to explain that differences in a moment. Okay, so let's go to evaluating the department in terms of teaching, learning, and assessment. Now, I'll tell you what is the difference, because it all depends on the goal. If my goal is to assess the learning, teaching, and assessment inside the department, I need to put policies how to assess and how to assess the teaching, learning inside the department. If my role is to evaluate the department, how to assess, I'm going to put a policy for me as quality enhancement cell, how to evaluate the department. There are two different things. I'm not putting the policy for assessing the quality of teaching or assessing the quality of learning. I'm putting a policy how to review the department. Okay, so that's why I said the approach is related to what? To the objective. In this case, if I want to evaluate the department, now I want to have some policies or procedures for you as quality enhancement cells. Now you can help me. What are the policies and procedures or handbooks that I should have to guide the department, to help the department to assess their learning, to assess their teaching, to assess their performance? You saw the difference, right? Okay, I'll try to help you. I'm going to put a guideline or policy for annual program review or department review. So now that is one of the policies I'm going to write. This is an approach. I'm going to put a policy, guidelines for an annual program review. I'm not going to do the annual program review, but I put the policy for the department to do the annual program review. Okay, something else. This will help in evaluating the department. What else I could have?
Curriculum review policy.
Mumtaz. Curriculum review policy. Strategic planning. Procurement. A document. I'm just thinking, seeing that if that, I will not say no. Strategic planning is correct, but it's at a higher level. I'm mainly looking at evaluating the department. So I want to see what is my approach, what is my methodology to evaluate the department, or to quantify how satisfactory the department is meeting the accreditation standards. Is it 70% meeting the accreditation standards, 90% accreditation standards? So that's why strategic plan doesn't fit exact.
Feedback to stakeholders.
Feedback and stakeholders. So you're going to put a policy for stakeholders engagement or input or communication. And let me clarify that. Sorry? Self-assessment report. Let me finish the part here. So the policy for stakeholders communication, that means I, as a quality enhancement cell, I put an approach, a methodology. My methodology is to have a very clear process for communicating with stakeholders and engaging them, engaging alumni, engaging employer. Why did I put this approach? To evaluate the department if they are meeting the accreditation standards. I'm just connecting everything as a quality enhancement cell. Great. Now the self-assessment report. Self-assessment report. I think this is clear. But what do you mean self-assessment report? I know what self-assessment report. I'll tell you what's going in my mind. Do you mean you want to write a policy of how to write the self-assessment report? And do you want to write a procedure of how do they assess themselves?
We can actually all the policies we see the checklist, whether we are following those policies and standards or not.
Good. So we are talking about the self-assessment report guidelines and checklist. Okay. Which is yes, which is included in the checklist. So here, checklist and guidelines. Good. Now I will ask myself again, are all these what I have mentioned enough for me as a methodology to see if the department is satisfying the accreditation standards or not? Or not? Still many more, and we will not finish today because there are a lot. Yes, infrastructure is part of it. But again, infrastructure comes where? Infrastructure comes part of the checklist. The department is going to check if it has all the required tools, facilities, infrastructure, and so on. But you're not going to check the infrastructure for them. You as quality enhancement cell, you're not going to go inside the department looking at the ACs, looking at the walls, looking at the labs, laboratories. You can do this. I'm not saying you cannot do, you can do it. But your aim is not to do this. The department should do it. You are looking as a quality part. That means you're looking at the cycle, if it is obeyed or not. There's a policy. Is the department obeying the policy or not? So this is what you're looking at. You're not looking at doing the job for them. So there are two different things. Yes, please. Output. Yes, output of the department. Hello, output of the department. Which means that you want to look at the number of publications. You want to see the number of graduates as well. You also want to see number of intake. Because if there is a department which has a very low intake, it's going to close by time. So you also want. Well, now the output is. I know this is part of the results. Which is also part of the KPIs for the department to say if it's a good department or a bad department. There are also KPIs. The strategic plan also connected to the department also could be here. But now going back to the approach, what should I put in the approach related to the output?
CQI.
C. Continuous quality improvement. MashaAllah.
Survey.
And the graduate survey. Policy document. Now I'll tell you what you have said. All what they have said here, they are talking about all the tools. They are talking about all the tools that they need to get the output, to obtain the output. Clarify. For example, they mentioned we need to have a graduation survey. This is a tool to get a result. Okay. Graduate destination survey, that means where they are working. Are they working in the same specialization field or not? We want to have an employer survey. Why? This is a tool to know if the employers are happy with our graduates or not, if they have the required skills and so on. So this is kind of what, if they have all the tools. Now, this is all the approach. My approach, I'm designing the structure. I did not put the structure yet. Then I'm putting all the policies and procedures. I'm putting all the tools that I need so that I, as a quality enhancement cell, can work well. Okay. So again, for those who just came, we are applying EDRI approach for quality enhancement cell for you. I was surprised, and I thought he meant something else. So we are happy now with the EDRI approach. Now let's look at the results. I will not go to the deployment. Deployment, you're going to implement or what you need here. Okay, let me think for a moment. Okay, regarding the graduate destination survey or the graduate surveys, employer surveys, what structure? Because I want to get the word structure inside the approach. What structure do you need as quality enhancement cell for the employer survey, for the graduation survey, for the alumni survey? communicating with employers and alumni. What is your policy? Is the quality enhancement cell responsible for this, or the department responsible, or alumni office? Quality enhancement cell? So this is the structure that we have. Okay, that's fine. Please.
Alumni survey, we have a dependency, it's a shared responsibility because the alumni, we need to have the data, the accurate data of the contact details and etc. Where they are employed.
Okay.
It's supposed to come from the department. So departments are the focal persons who are actually have a strong liaison with the active alumni.
Mm.
So they provide us with the contemporary email address and where they are.
Yes, they give you all the communication details, so you communicate with them.
We approached the alumni.
Okay, that's fine. And very clear. So it's very clear that the quality enhancement cell are responsible for this job. Then you don't need a new structure position because the quality enhancement cell is doing the job. What do you need?
Because they are not providing us with the correct data.
Okay. No, but not providing with the data. I mean, does your structure miss a position? What does it miss?
Because we don't have, you see, in the early part of the day, we talked about the alumni offices. The alumni, the lack of the.
Yeah. That's why I was asking.
Yeah.
I was asking because I wanted to see if something is missing. Now I could say, this is something else. It's okay. So what do I have here? I have the QEC. I have the department. And I want to do an alumni survey, an employer survey. Now, I'm not sure I'm saying that is the alumni and employer survey the responsibility of QEC? And you said yes, of course. Or is it the responsibility of the department? Alumni survey. I'm talking about universities in Bahrain. They're still confused. And not confused. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's there. But talking about the universities that had been under my supervision consultation, what I did, I added alumni office. And who's responsible for the alumni office? They are responsible to contact the department and take all the employer details. Take all the alumni details. They do the survey. So they will apply a reapproach from themselves. Now, what is my responsibility as QC? My responsibility is to see if the alumni office did its job or not, according to the policy. Okay. Now, how is it easier for you? It is easier for you because it's very difficult for you to do the job of other people. You don't have the time to do the job of everyone.
So most of the emails are bounced back because
I know, and that's why I was going to ask you, when you told me about the quality enhancement cell, they do the job, I was going to ask, is it effective or not? Because we know our students. So when students graduate, we know our graduates. Because we know them, they are close to us by a phone, by WhatsApp, by whatever, they reply soon. But if someone from another place they don't know, and they just call them and send them an email and they just don't reply because they don't know the person. Okay, so the response rate will be very low. It's not effective. Not effective means what? My approach was not correct. My methodology was not correct. It needs an improvement. So I need to improve my approach. Now my approach was, I was saying alumni office. But this could not be applicable to you. It depends on you. This is just one approach. And then there's one university called Gulf University in Bahrain. I'm applying a very different approach regarding stakeholders engagement. It's a different approach. Yeah, I need to explain that. I took it from King Saud University and I'm applying it in Gulf University. So they have a different approach. What I'm trying to say, there's not one fit approach for all of you. Everyone will have his own or her approach. Okay, so this is one of the things. We took an example of graduation and employer survey. Why did I do this? Just to see if the structure serves you. to see if the structure is serving us. In this case, maybe you want to decide to add to the organization structure the alumni office, maybe, or something else. Okay, now the approach is, I think it's clear. Okay, well, thank you for taking this example. It's better than the example of the standards. And putting standards and taking more examples. Okay, now let's go to, forget about the A. We don't have space here. We are going to apply D. Let's go to the results. Let's go to the results. So what results as quality enhancement cell you want to see? Let's go back to the goal. I want to evaluate the department to see if it is meeting accreditation standards. I put my methodology to evaluate the department. This methodology I put as quality enhancement cell will tell me if, will help me to achieve that all departments will achieve 90% of quality standards. All of them, inshallah, 90% of quality standards. Now, what are the results you will rely on to say if they achieved those or not? Sorry? Employability ratio. Do you want to go one by one here rather than going randomly? I'll write employability ratio. What do you mean by employability ratio? The rate, يمكن. The employability rate, okay. The employability rate. Let's go one by one, maybe to make it easier for you. The policy for annual program review. This is one of your approach. What results do you want from this?
Annual program review of every program which is conducted in the department.
So you want to see that they applied once per year, the annual program review. Okay, good. So that's one output. Are they meeting the demands of the market? Now, are they meeting the demands of the market? Is it part of any report already you have in? Such? Okay. I thought it is in the self-study report. That's why I asked.
That's right.
Is it? Is it part of the annual, the self-study report? Is it an annual thing? It's an annual. Okay, that means, can I say the results of self-study reports, which includes the demand, satisfying the demand of the market? Because it is there. If it's not there, why? Because when you told me demand of the market as a result, I was thinking, I'll tell you what I did in my mind. When you told me demand of the market, I went into my mind to the approach and said, do I have a methodology to get to satisfy the demand of the market, to measure that? I saw that I don't have anything there. And then I said, oh, maybe it's here in the self-assessment, which is the annual program review or the self-assessment report. Okay, but I was just checking myself, because if it's not inside here, I need to add an approach to see if I satisfy the demand of the market. Why? So that I can implement it and then I see the results of it. But because it's already part of this, I don't need a new approach, because it's already part of an approach that I already have. Okay, so yes, it is there. And this is a good exercise. We put everything here and make sure that this all methodologies satisfy the goal that I have. So I'm going to write here the self-assessment report results, including the market, the number of graduates, how many years they take for graduation, which is the graduation rate. You have the graduation rate, right? Okay, what is the graduation rate generally at your universities? They take 4 years or 4.5 or 5 years for the BS. MashaAllah, that's really good. So they graduate in 4 years, most of them? Almost all of them? Wow. No one fails? 75? That's really good. To tell you that we had 10 years back, when I started it at University of Bahrain, I discovered that the graduation rate at University of Bahrain 10 years back, I need to say this, yani 10 years back, it was, I know you'll get surprised. It was 4%. 4% only. Only 4 students out of 100 students graduate in 4 years. And it was really very shocking, very shocking. طبعا in 4.5 years, it becomes 40%, even not to the number that that you're even mentioning there.
What was the in the
Yes, of course. Of course, we did a very thorough analysis. One of it, for example, you're talking about intake. I don't know if you have this, they call it mass education problem. Mass education, that means you have an intake of all students from schools, regardless of whatever they're coming with their grade and so on. Why? Because the government is pushing you. It could be the government saying that I don't have technical schools for those students. So they throw, or the parents, they say that we don't want our kids to go to technical schools or vocational, and we want them all to be BSc degrees to get better salaries and so on. And because of that, everyone goes to university, and then they get surprised that university is very difficult for them, and they drop out.
What other means for these reasons? Like it was a dropout failure?
We have 50% dropout rate. 50% dropout rate. In the College of Engineering, we have 70% dropout rate. And this is 10 years back. Everything changed, yani, alhamdulillah. And not really changed, but I will not expose all the everything. So I need to hide some kind of information. Okay, I work in 3 positions. I work at University of Bahrain. I work at Chambers of Commerce as a consultant. I work also as a consultant in quality. It's called Quality Assurance Office. It's very similar to the Higher Education Council that you have. So even when I work on policy making, it's like I teach at the university. So when I do a policy, I know that I will do it later. So I need to think about it, yani. I'm ready to receive that order or not, that I'm working up there, yani. So it's very tricky. This is why you need to have no conflicts of interest. Okay, so we have approach, we have the results. The results, we want to have employability rate. Actually, the employability rate is also part of the SAR results. The rate of getting scholarships. I like this, but is it part of evaluating the department to meet accreditation standards or not?
Yes, sir.
No.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know that, but I don't know if this is a measure as a result that will tell you if the department is satisfying the accreditation standards.
Yes.
Is it yes? I felt not yes. I felt that it is something else. It could be another department.
So, getting the scholarships, yes, you can just.
I'm not sure, wallah. Maybe you can help me if, yani. But let's go back and say that if it is part of the accreditation standards, then yes, the QECSLs will measure it. We'll put it as part of the self-evaluation review results. But if it's not part of the accreditation, they will not put it there. I'm concentrating on the objective of the QEC cells. This is what I'm trying to do. Maybe there's another department entity in the university will look at the scholarship. Maybe the admission and maybe the registrar. It will be his job or her job to look at it. But for me as QEC, I will not look at it. Why? Because it's not part of evaluating the department to meet accreditation standards. I'm just trying to concentrate when I'm applying the ADRI approach. I need to look at the objective very clearly. Okay. Let me look at what else? Curriculum review policy. Now I know this is important. We put it as one of the approach. What kind of results you want to see for curriculum review policy?
Curriculum refinement more related to a district.
Hello, I like this. So you're looking at how much you're fitting the industry requirements.
What retail trends are changing? No new companies are entering.
How to measure that? Yeah, I like what you said, but I'm just thinking about what you're going to see, how you're going to measure it.
There are industrial advisory and advisory board magnetic faculty levels. So they discuss more curriculum that part. The refinement goes into the outcome. And then
Okay, that means you're talking about, you added something that I did not add here. A part of your structure, you need what? Part of your structure, you need advisory boards. Okay, so now I'm fixing my structure to get to the result, and that result is what? Is to see fit to mark, fit for purpose, or to purpose, or of purpose. I don't know if you know this, but the business people know fitness of purpose and fitness for purpose. It's a long story, but we are talking about fitness for what the market wants, and without going to the details of or for. Okay, so this is your area. I don't want to touch it very. So we want to see the result. Again, what we did together now, for a moment, we said that we want to see that it's fit of purpose. And we are fit, our graduates are fit for the market. And then we said how to know that the program is updated and it meets the market requirements. And then you told me we should have advisory boards. And then I said, okay, then let's fix our structure with advisory board, which is part of our approach. So when I write my policy, I'm going to write my policy and I'm going to put the right structure to achieve it. Now I'm happy that I will achieve this. It's very clearly because my approach gets me there. Okay, good. What else do you have as results? Let me go back for the fitting to the market. Other than the advisory board, is it only the advisory board that tell you that your graduates are satisfying the market, and your program has all the new technologies that are used in the market, or the software. For example, banking sector, you're using the software that we have, and so on. Yes, please say.
employer data.
Employer what? Employee survey.
Employer survey.
So employer survey results.
Yes.
Okay, great. And employee survey results is very clear. It's clear. Tools and the guidelines. So employer survey results. Yes, please say. Results. Man, I'm writing like, professors, doctors, medical doctors. They have this like that, which means many things, Yani. Okay, please. What analysis? Needs analysis. I like need analysis. I need to show you the route map. I don't have it here. I have something called the curriculum review route map. Yani, maybe I will share it to you. It's like a metro. It's like a metro, which I put a review map for the whole curriculum. I don't know if you saw it before or not. I published it, Yani. Who needs it? I will send it to him or her, Yani. So we need a need analysis report. So one of the results, I'm going to get the need analysis report. These are one of the results that I'm going to look at to see if the department is meeting the accreditation standards. Now, let me make sure, is that need analysis report part of your approach or not? It's not? Is it part of the approach or not? If it's not, then we are going to write a policy or procedure to do this need analysis. Okay, we need to support all what we need here by the approach so that we can implement it. And if you don't have policies at home, your kids are not going to obey you. You need to have policies at home. Okay. Of course, Yani, but Yani, you need to have policies. So when you tell them you need to sleep at 9, if they sleep at 9:15, you will say, okay. But you have a policy. But if you don't have a policy, they will sleep at 11. And then you tell them, why are you sleeping late? Said, man, it's okay to sleep at 9. You should sleep at 9. You never told me to sleep at 9. And we don't have a policy at home to sleep at 9, yani. So, of course, the kids are not going to talk like that. Maybe today there are some kids who talk like that, للأسف. يعني, but going back, you need to have a policy at home so that they abide to it. So you have a very clear approach. So here we are going to add a new policy called, it could be part of another policy or guideline, need analysis policy. Okay, so now I added a new approach together. Okay, this is good actually. I like this exercise. Yeah, it helps us a lot as quality enhancement cell. Going back, is there something from the results as quality enhancement cell? You are a quality enhancement cell, and you're looking at these. You're saying these are the results. These are the evidence results that I'm going to see to know if the department is 90% satisfying accreditation standards or only 10% satisfying accreditation standards. So these are my results. Now, is there something more in the results that you would like to add? Teaching and capacity building and so on. Yes. Hello. Hello, I like this. I like the review compliance reports. On review compliance reports, one of the university I worked with is Applied Science University, University of Bahrain, in Bahrain. So we did that review compliance report. Now, when we talk about compliance, compliance means compliance with the accreditation standards, and also means compliance with the government policies or government rules. Government policies means what? Ministry of Labor policies. I need to satisfy this. This is part of compliance. Okay. Talking about higher education. Higher education, it has a group of compliance. So I need to put all that kind of rules and laws and regulations to see if I'm complying with it or not. So yes, a review compliance report is also good. Now, let me make sure. If I'm going to look at review compliance report, which includes the HEC regulations, very clearly that this result will help me to evaluate the department if it satisfies the accreditation standards. Now, let me see. Now, review compliance report, does it have any policy or procedure or guideline to how to do it or not? Is it part of a policy here?
The full policy given by the census.
Okay. So but you need an internal policy to satisfy the policy or the regulations set by the HEC.
Actually, UEC are governed by HEC.
Who pays the salary? Huh?
University.
Okay.
Universities are governed by HEC in Pakistan. We are we make sure that all the standards which have been set by HEC are followed in our universities.
I understand that you're governed by HEC because it puts all the regulations.
Yeah.
Who hires QEC people?
University.
University. Okay. So they have the last word of who's going to sit there. Who's going to be the chair of the QAC? Is it the university as well? Khalas, you're part of the university. You're part of the university. Now you can put an internal policy that says that we need to satisfy the compliance report and so on.
Exactly. Every university develops its own quality policy.
Yes. Okay. So we will add something here called quality policy. That is related to what? That is related to the Higher Education Commission policy or regulations and so on. Okay, so. Accreditation Council in the university or outside the university? Outside university. That's fine. Yeah, but what I'm trying to say that these accreditation councils, it is an approach. It is a structure set by the Higher Education Commission.
Their own structure.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That this is related to the Higher Education Commission, not to the universities, not to the Quality Enhancement Cell. As a Quality Enhancement Cell, these are one of the stakeholders. Maybe you want to approach, you want to talk to them and ask them and have a survey with them or interview and so on, if you want. Okay, because my keynote speech tomorrow or day after tomorrow, I'm going to talk about the different stakeholders that you need to approach. It's not only alumni, it's not only employers, it's not only students. These are the normal ones that are everywhere. But the stakeholders are much more than that. We will discuss that, of course, in the keynote speech, not today. Yes, this is what I'm doing. It's like a trailer, for the movie. I'm putting a trailer there. Okay, so we went through the results. Now let's go to the last part. Are you okay with this exercise? I think it's very useful, better than the standards. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Yeah, so let's go for the last part, which is related to the improvement part. Before going to the improvement, just an icebreaker, and I was telling my students, guys, a good icebreaker. I have 2 icebreakers in my head, so I'm just selecting which one to go through. Let me select this one. When you're working at the university for a certain purpose, definitely to improve the quality of education and to have graduates, and so you have a purpose within this university. You have a goal. If I would say, just to make sure, are you working for the salary or for the purpose? Both, right? Okay, yes. So both could be an answer. It's like for the jihad. When you go for the jihad as well, you also can get out of something from the jihad. It's not only the shahada. So it could be both.
Yes.
It could be both.
To begin with, it is salary, but when you become a part of the organization, then you work for the purpose of.
Okay, good.
But I must say that I do multidisciplinary, like I do multitasking. For some, I'm doing what hard.
Something for.
Primarily, I do this.
Good. Yes, please.
Well, financially stable, only then we can work for that other purpose. We have to be financially.
You have to be financially stable. I totally agree. And actually, my next question was going to say that if they cut your salary to half.
Yes.
This is too much. This is too much, And we said we do it for a purpose, but now we are not financially stable.
Doctor, now you are threatening us.
Yeah. I always give this example for the students, and I do it in that other way for the students. And I will tell you why I gave you this answer, this question. I usually ask my students, are you studying for the sake of the grade or for the sake of learning? And the students say what?
Most are quiet.
Most are quiet? Yes. Yes. I asked the students, many of them say for the grade, very similarly to you, and many of them said for learning. But when I start telling them that, forget about the grade, all of you will get a B or less. I said, La, doctor, why B or less? We said it's just for learning, but we want an A at the end. Okay, so what I would want to say, the message, if we teach our students to be that person for learning, to study for learning, he will grow to study or to give to his organization for the purpose. I'll put it in another way. If we as faculty members, we give from our heart for the purpose, then our students are going to reflect what we as an example. And test yourself. I will tell you how to test it. There's something called the commitment ladder. You can read it in one of the books called The Fifth Discipline. In that commitment ladder, and you can measure, the person who works for the salary, he explains, he doesn't care about the students if they understand or don't understand, and then he leaves.
Sir, how do you see the future of all these things in the age of AI?
Mashallah. Yeah. ChatGPT. I showed you ChatGPT. Yes, of course. And I'm not putting a blame. Don't feel the blame culture that you're already starting blaming yourself, saying that, well, I'm doing my best, but I cannot. I'm not going to get to that. But the student, when he sees in your eyes and in your effort that you are teaching them and you really want them to learn, and you're really putting that more effort because you're behind that value, you're running around that value of learning, they will grow up to be a good example when they work, not only for the salary, but also for the purpose.
So my question, in the age of AI, how do you see our future?
This is very difficult, and we need to discuss it later because I know AI is making it difficult for us in teaching. And for example, ChatGPT, for me, I use ChatGPT inside the class. So I don't see it as a threat, but I see it as a tool for improvement. And I put an approach for it very clearly, how to use it. And I tell the student how to use it rather than looking at it as a threat. It's like they're keeping quiet and we are keeping quiet about it. We know that they use it, but we don't want to say. And they know that they're using it, but they don't want to tell you. And we need to be clear around it. Yes, please.
Sir, please repeat the book and the author.
The Fifth Discipline for Peter Senge.
The fifth discipline?
Yeah, Peter Senge. It's a 550 pages book. Read the summary. It will make your life easier in that regard. It talks about the commitment ladder. Commitment ladder, there's someone who gives only for the salary. There's someone who gives before the salary. There's someone who gives not to be fired. Better than him.
We have 6 minutes remaining.
12:24? Okay. Yes, 12:30 we finish, inshallah. So he's telling me that the icebreaker took too long. He told me something else, but I understand that the icebreaker went too long. Okay, so I have about 6 minutes, just to finish the improvement part. So we need to finish that improvement part so that we finish the whole ADRI exercise for the quality enhancement cell. Now, what improvement actions? And it's very difficult to say what are the improvement actions. Why? Because we did not implement yet. We don't have results yet. Okay, so it's very difficult to say what improvement actions I will have. Now, let me put it in another way. What will be your procedure to improve? So that when you come into the improvement, you know what you will analyze. When you come to the improvement, you know what kind of reports you will generate here. So, for example, I will have an action plan of need analysis, or I will have a master action plan. Master action plan, that means it will include more than one. So you're going to have an improvement here, but I want you to tell me what kind of improvements as a quality enhancement cell. You come at the end of the year, you have a measure. One department is 20% meeting quality standards, and another department 90% is meeting quality standards. Of course, you're going to open your eye on the 20% and say, I need to improve that department. So now, to improve that department, what kind of tools or process you're going to do here to improve that department?
SWOT analysis.
SWOT analysis. So SWOT analysis one. And if you said SWOT analysis, I'll remind you, as quality enhancement cell, if you put SWOT analysis here, you need to write a procedure that is you're responsible for. You're going to write a procedure here, which says annual program, QEC annual review policy, which includes SWOT analysis. Okay, so be careful. If you're going to put something here that does not have an approach, That means you need to put a process and procedure to serve that. Okay, what else do you have?
Agri model, the one we are studying today, agri model.
The agri model. So we are applying the agri model. That's exactly, Yani.
Sir, I have a question. In my university, we have a SOP named interdepartmental competition. We conduct on these parameters, we conduct the competition.
To compare between departments, and they also compete with each other.
Among the departments, we have an interdepartmental competition SOP.
Good.
The part of the improvement tool or the
It will be part of the approach. And then you're going to look at the results. The results are the comparison and the results of every department. Based on that results, you'll have improvement. But now, going to the improvement, I need to write an approach how to use that tool for improvement. I need to write something because what happens is that yani, you have a report. One of your members is going to say, it's enough. We have a report. This is what the university wants. But if the policy says you need to analyze that report and come up with an action plan, that means you must do it. And so this is what I'm trying to say. As quality enhancement cell, you need to put something in the policies that talks about improvement. If you don't have it here, no one is going to listen to you. They will tell you, you told us to do an employer survey report. Khalas, we did it. Why to analyze it? No. The reviewer, when she comes to you, they want to see the cycle closed. It's not enough to have a report. You need to have an improvement action. What else we have as the output results? SWOT analysis. I'll mention it. Sorry, not results. Improvement actions. In the improvement actions, I'll try to conclude. In the improvement actions, I need to put an improvement action policy that involves a master action plan that includes inputs from all the results that you have. Okay, I'm just trying to make it short because of the time. So I'm going to put here something called the improvement. MashaAllah, you're putting an alarm for me as well, huh? It's okay. I have something in my head. I will say it later. There's no time to comment on everything. Okay, I'll say it at the end. So we have an improvement, master improvement. I could call it master improvement action policy. And this master improvement action policy, here I will have a master action report. And when I say master action, that means it has inputs from here, and inputs from there, and inputs from here. And now for QEC, it will have a whole spectrum of all the actions that needs to be done. All of the improvement actions. And it is set by policy. It is served. The policy, it is abided by the policy. The policy is the one who's guiding that master action. And till here, I came to the end. And he reminded me by the alarm when we were kids. We like to make naughty stuff. So when I say a kid, I was in the university in that moment. So in the university, there's one professor, he always passes his limit. He never stops and finishes his lecture on time. So I agreed with all my students. I was the leader as usual, to set their alarm, all of us, at exactly 12 o'clock. So when the time finished, it's not only one alarm, it was the whole class alarming. So he stopped. So I will stop. Thank you very much. And I appreciate your listening. Shukran.
A few announcements.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you, Dr. Bassam, for this wonderful talk. There are few announcements. Please stay in the room as we have a group photo after the session, and rector and vice rector would be joining us. And the second announcement is participants will get the e-certificates till 5 p.m. today. And the third announcement is the participants who are taking afternoon workshop can stay and the rest can leave. Thank you so much.
So just a quick director FCC is going to be here shortly, so we have a protection along with him. So sorry to make you wait.
That's okay. Thank you very much. You want more stories? More icebreakers. I have many icebreakers. I have or I have not? Something here. I think I removed them. No, I removed them. I always forget.